Conquering Mount Scrap with Brenda. I'm Brenda, and here today we're going to do the last series on the community round robin, and this is time we're going to address the outer border. Now, I've done sashing to put all my blocks together and have them all line up perfectly, and put little funny, cute little friendship stars in the works. It's all good. Now that video dropped Tuesday of this week, so you have something to to look at there if you wanted to know how I made my sashing. Now the whole object of this community round robin was to use what you have. Now that the members of the community round robin are also dropping what they're doing to sew the blocks together, their outer borders, everything is coming out this week. So the community round robin members are Michelle from Bits and Pieces, FutureCat from New Zealand, and Kelley from Kelley's Quilts and Cruises. Now they were wonderful to work with. I will jump on a heartbeat again if they want to do something else. Like in the future, I'm game. I'm so game. Now the quilt behind me, before you guys have a bunch of questions about that, Quilt Lovely from Jen Kingwell. It's called Mrs. Bannister's Star. Now, I cannot give you this pattern because it's copyright, and a bunch of us did this together as a challenge, but I decided instead of a pillow, because she makes it into a pillow, I've decided to make a little quilt out of it. And my oldest, when she saw all the pieces cut, she didn't even see what it was going to look like. She was claiming it because it's all Star Wars fabric. So that, we want to make sure that you guys have a shout out for her as well. Oh, speaking of shout outs, let's do a shout out. Dione at 4 Clovers Quilting is her shout out today. Now her YouTube channel is also going to be in the show notes today, so that's another fun thing to be looking for. We have all the other usual things that are in the show notes, but it's so important that you get into them, because then you'll have all the cutting instructions and measurements and all the rest of this stuff that you can do and use for your quilt, right? So for instance, we have a Facebook group, and we are just growing rapidly. We're having a lot of fun over there. We're warm and welcoming. There's a whole bunch of community chats, including the ones for fabric swaps. We also do finding free patterns elsewhere on the internet. Like they have people going out looking for that kind of thing for you. It's a good resource if you want to go through it. We also have a sewing room under Discord that is open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and people are actually getting in there and sewing, and they're making friends, and they're just having a great time in those sewing rooms. We also have Zoom sew dates below, and it's from now until the end of the year. I haven't looked at 2025 yet, but if I do, and when I do, I will be putting those dates in as well. So that's all good. Like I say, share, like, and subscribe, because that would be so helpful to our channel. And comment. Commenting helps our analytics, and if all you've got time to do is a thumbs up or a heart, that's perfect. That will help us out so much. I also speak for free to quilting guilds and quilting groups. I talk about making charity quilts, elements of design, and using up your scraps. Also, another sew-along is coming, and it's called this Chaos Sew-along. Now, I don't know when this is going to drop. It's going to be dropping the first week of October, but I don't know when the Chaos Sew-along is going to start. So that one is going to take up, using larger pieces, and the smallest squares are 4.5 inch unfinished, and the larger ones are 4.5 by 8.5. So it kind of gives you an idea what scraps you need. You can throw any color at it. If you want to do just warms or just cools, you can do that. You can throw anything and everything at it if you want. It'll look great. Now, we are going to get to the borders here, so come on in. Let's get to the sewing. Okay, we're at the cutting table, and I've got my pins out. And yes, they're probably the oldest quilting pins ever. Now, I'm going to start pin, and they say you pin from the middle. Well, yes, you can. What I want to do is I want to lay this out as flat as possible, and I'm flattening this with my hand as well, right? That way you're going to avoid those bubbly, wavy borders. And, okay, am I getting a message from my cameraman that I can't get my body out of the way? Okay, so, well, it is what it is. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the entire length. And if I come short, you know, where I have just a skinny little end, what I will do is I'll unpin it and move shift everything over, right? So putting it down first, laying all of this down first is probably the best advice. Pinning it in place and just going along. Now I have an entire roll of piano keys, right? So when I'm done this quilt, what's left on here, oh look, there's more Star Wars print. What's done here will then go into another coin quilt, right? So I can move this out as part of an orphan block. But I'm going to do the end, and we're going to come back and see whether I have to shift everything or not. So just hang on, let me finish pinning the rest of this. Okay, so as we're coming up to the end, right, I am seeing that I am right on the money, so I'm just going to rip this open, right, and put this down just like so. And I might have just not even a tad of fullness. I'm good. I'm good with the full. I don't have any fullness. Wow. Okay, the quilting gods are with me today, so now I'm going to sew this down. But while we're here, I want to show you how to do the cornerstones, because the cornerstones are simple. You do 3, you rip. You do 3, you rip. Then when you put them, you're going to press them out nice and neat, and you're going to sew them like this, right from point to point, so that they open up like this. And that's how you're going to cheat on your mitered corner. Okay, now we've showed this before, but when we get to the sewing machine, I'll have all this, you know, trimmed up and make it nice so you guys get a better look at it. But you make 4 of these, just like that, just like I showed you here where I ripped them off the end. Okay, we're done. Let's get back to the sewing machine. Okay, we're back at the sewing machine, and we've only pinned the one side because I'm not going to be able to finish it all in one session here. But the cornerstones, how you fake your miter. Now I took my Fons and Porter, you know, little ruler, or you can just do any ruler from point to point. Now, this is 6 inches, not 6.5. So this had to be 6 inches as well. So I did trim off a little bit on both sides so that this was centered, okay? So you're working with a square. You can't work with a rectangle, and I got the wrong foot on, but that's okay. Now I am going to sew just on that pencil line. There, and lift my foot because everybody, I got the pencil line going right where through the center of that. Okay, now you're going to make 4 of them, right? So these 4, you're going to make 4 of them, and then the other ones that you cut, right? Because this will either look like this, right? Your cornerstone's either going to look like this, or it's going to look like this, right? But you can only make 1 out of this. So when you're cutting this off, this becomes too small, and I just put it into my orphan blocks, which I will do later. But for now, let's see how we can do on getting that border on, that piano key border on. So now, there's it's a long border. So pinning is a really good idea. You know, you overpin. Don't be afraid to overpin. And there's some people that, you know, like I say, they don't like pinning. A border like this, you want to pin. And you want to make sure all your pieces are going the right way, right? For instance, this piano key border is going to be pressed away from the 1.5 inch border, the outer stock border. But you also don't want the black, you want the black to be folding in on itself from underneath, right? Like you want this to be under, and nothing is going to match up, but that's okay. I am using up what I have, and I'm making my queen size quilt just a bit bigger. Maybe I should take the lid off, and then it's easier to put the pins in. There we go. Just like that. Okay. So now, okay, this goes under. There we go. Oh. Okay, And when it comes to the star points, the pieces go out. They press out for some weird reason. The star points are going out, the little friendship stars, but that's okay. We can manage that. And you just want to check while you're going in between. Okay, there. Now you see something like this that's not pressed open. I try and open it up and I finger press it open right away. Because that was probably one of those strips that I was joining. There's lots of fabric colors in my quilt, so I am not worried about this being too colorful with a very colorful border. And if I don't use the piano keys in that round or cinnamon roll of fabric or whatever you want to call it, what happens is it doesn't get used. So what I'm going to do, oh, my needle came out. Okay, hang on. Oh, that's awkward. Okay, let me go up. My needle actually popped out of its hole. That's weird. Okay, let's get this. It actually shook itself out. I've been sewing so much lately that it shook itself out. Okay, now let's see. Yep, let's see. That works. Yes, it does. Okay, we're back. That's odd. That doesn't happen very often. But, you know, something like that happens. You just keep going. You keep sewing. You just keep sewing. Okay. There we go. There. Okay. Yeah, this is a long. No, that's going in. Okay, that's going in. If that's going in, that's got to go in. There we go. We got it going the right way. The piece underneath. There. Yeah, I like borders like this, like these really playful, colorful borders. I just love. I know you guys are like, yeah, you're obsessed with them. Okay, let's go put down, and we will press this open and slide it under. There's another one there I missed. That's okay. Finger pressing is a godsend. Really, truly, it's a godsend. And I keep losing my foot pedal to sew with. Okay, almost there. And just a couple more feet. Good thing queen sizes aren't any bigger. I have to figure out how I'm going to quilt this. It'll be fun. Oops, there's another one. There's another one that just keeps get it open it up, and it'll be fine. Now there's lots of bright scrappy colors in here. It's all good. Yeah, another one. There. Kind of surprised that that actually worked out. I did ease in a bit over a couple of feet. I eased in 1/4 inch over a couple of feet. So it wasn't perfect, but it's wow, is it close. There we go. There. Now what I would do is I put the two sides on, and then I would put the two tops on. So now that I've got this on, what I'm going to do is I would count how many strips I have, and the next one I would cut. Okay, let me get the little tab off here, the plug, and there we go. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to quickly show you. I was able to see I'm on 1/8 of an inch out, and I would just trim that off. 1/8 of an inch, the eye is not going to notice, if you can see this. Like, I'm just 1/8 of an inch over, so I would be pressing this little gray piece flat and trimming off that 1/8, right? The eye is not going to notice that this piece here is 1/8 thinner, right? So I would do both sides. Then I would do the top and bottoms with my cheater cornerstones, with my, you know, cheater mitered cornerstones, and it would look great. So I'm going to be showing you that at the end. Okay, we'll get back to this and then show you the big ta-da moment. Okay, so we're at the end of the community round robin. Now, I did not show you how I sewed these on. I just showed you how to make these cheater miter blocks. And basically, you take 2 3-inch pieces, you make them both the same size, height and width, right? So this, for me, because I'm using my 6-inch strips, not 6.5, 6-inch strips. These 2 blocks have to be 6 inches, and then you just draw a thing along the middle. Now, what I did with the stuff that I cut off is I made it yet another quilt block, and I put it into my orphan blocks, but I added fabric around the outside edge of it to make it a 12.5-inch block. So it looks really cool because we had 4 of them. Yeah, this works out really well. And then, you know, you're using the same number of strips on both sides of your piano key, right? Because this is a square block when you make 4 of each block, right? Because it's 4 by 4, right? So it's a square. It's a great big queen size square. So I just want to give you a look as to how big it is. And I'm going to have to get my cameraman to help because the thing is huge. We are going to insert a picture here so you'll be able to see just how big and lovely this thing is. So here's the block with Michelle's barn and my people and, you know, FutureCat's border. I love, look at my banana coffee cup. I just love these, right? So here we are. This is pretty much where we are. Now, like I say, we will be putting in a picture so you can see how big it is once it's finished. But yeah, it is just gorgeous. So it's wild and crazy. It has every color under the sun. So I was okay using my big roll of piano keys. So I hope you have an amazing week ahead. Life is treating you grand. Okay, you take care until we see each other again. Okay, bye! Hello again. We just want to thank you for enjoying our video and, you know, coming along with my husband and my YouTube adventure and quilting. And, you know, sometimes things don't work out as best they should, and sometimes they work out great. We're going, wow, that went well. But it's been an amazing journey, and I'm so glad I could share it with you. Share, like, and subscribe these videos. That really helps us out, and it helps us make more charity quilts, okay? So you guys take care until we have a chance to meet again, okay? Bye!